Hello guys and welcome to episode 13 of the Caged In podcast. For those of you who don't know, this is a podcast where I, Petrus Silvers, your host, I'm going to be watching every single Nicolas Cage film. Yay! So yeah, if you haven't listened before, there's a load of episodes as well. 12 episodes that you can catch up on and join us on episode 13. 13's unlucky for some. Is it going to be unlucky for me in this case? This is the film Birds, released in 1990. And like before, like many times before, I got no fucking clue what this film is about. And I'm not going to, because I got rules I'll stick to. One of them rules that relates to that is no expectations. Those of you guys who listened before, feel free to skip on a little bit because I'm just going to go over these because you never know. People could be coming into these because they like Firebirds and they just want to listen to this specific episode. So, rules, no expectations. Pretty straightforward. If I don't know anything about the film, I'm not going to know anything about the film. Done. Second rule. No distractions. Again, pretty self-explanatory. Me, the film, Cage, and me, eye to eye. Just going going at it, punch for punch, pound for pound. Giving it my full attention. I put my phone on airplane mode. I'm lucky I've got a really lovely and understanding girlfriend. She's currently on holiday, and whilst recording one of these, it's a rare moment because there's time difference, stuff like that we could have a conversation. And I had to apologise and say, I was watching a real shit film last night, and she said, and I got the best response, which was, if it was a Nicolas Cage film, I'll let you off. You can't ask for much better than that. So luckily I've got understanding people like that in my life that will know that once I'm in the cage, I ain't coming out until it's done. So yeah, that's it for the rules. I'm not going to get in the cage today, this evening, because I've already done it today and I'm recording this straight after episode 12 for Time to Kill, so I feel like I'm very much immersed inside the ridiculous world of Nicolas Cage. I'm gonna get on with it. Gonna watch the film. Okay, going blind. I'm just gonna see what happens. I'm feeling pretty lethargic. It's pretty late. What's the time? It's 11:15 at night. So roughly, it's probably gonna be an hour and a half film, and then I've got to record the tail end afterwards. So looks like I'm in for a nice late one, guys. So hope you appreciate all the turmoil I am putting myself through for you guys in the name of entertainment, or there could be no one listening and I'm just going to get a really late night and it's not going to be very fun, but hopefully it'll be enjoyable. Hopefully 13 is lucky for me and not unlucky. So I'm going to roll the theme music and then afterwards I'll be talking about the film. So I'll put my feet up, turn my phone off, and we're going to get raging with Cage. Feels like I've been awake for days, watching films starring Nicolas Cage. Could be shit or it could be fun. Valley Girl, Face Off, An Army of One, Deadfall, Cornell, Lord of War, The Wicker Man, Trespass, and so many more. Know how it starts, I don't know how it ends. The first 10 are solo, then it's me and some friends. No distractions, no expectations. Over the weeks, hear my frustrations. I guess the podcast is about to begin. I'm your host, Petra Plasilivus, and I'm caged in. Right, Firebirds, or as I like to call it, Top Gun 2. Right, so yeah, this film starts with epic music, real reverby drums. We get a shot of silhouette of some helicopters flying through the sky. It looks bad fucking ass. You're thinking, yes, this is gonna be wall-to-wall action. Is it? Fuck. And then it has a quote from George Bush Sr. and kind of sets up the tone for this film. Once I'd watched it, I quickly wound back to the beginning and took a photo just so I could read out what it says. It says, "Our message to drug cartels is this. The rules have changed. We will help any government that wants our help. When requested, we will for the first time make available the appropriate resources of American armed forces." And yeah, it's here in the first 2 minutes you realise this film has an agenda to play, and that agenda to play is drugs are bad, and it is rammed down your throat the whole film. Opening, I don't know what is up with this film. It's like a smoke machine going on every time it's in. It's a classic darkened room, load of officials, like government guys, Navy people, all awarded up to the eyeballs. They've got all their official garb on, and you got Jake Preston, played by Slippery Nick the Dick Cage, telling this story of how he's flying helicopters. He had his whole platoon with him, and some fucking rogue helicopter comes out of nowhere, fucking destroys it, and they're like, that's it, they've got to be avenged. The fucking drugs are real bad. They keep fucking it's really that's it, the cartels have got to go down, we won't stand for this. And then Cage is asked to leave, and he's sat on a bench, and literally in earshot you've got a couple of officials talking, and guys who are going to head up the operation they're like, we gotta get revenge, we gotta get this guy, he is the sole reason that drugs are bad. This rogue fighter helicopter pilot, killing him is just going to stop all drug trade. I don't think it's going to be as easy as that, guys. Even if this had happened in real life, sorry to tell you, drugs are still out there. And within earshot, they're having a conversation of how it's going to go down, and they're like, Jake, Nick, we want you on the team. And it's kind of set up at this point as the golden boy. He is our Top Gun. Don't be fooled, this film is basically it's so it's so much of a rip-off. And then we're introduced to Tommy Lee Jones's character, who is called what is his name? Oh, come on. Brad Little, that's it, yes. Brad fucking Little, that's his name. He's kind of called on board by the bigwig, saying, you're the best guy we know in regards to helicopter piloting, stuff like that. You've got to get this team together to take down the drug cartel scum because we hate drugs. You're a part of the army, so you hate drugs as well. We're following George Bush. What could he do that's any wrong? And yeah, straight into training. You get Cage, he's laughing like a fucking idiot. He's just giggling. He sees. You don't really know how they know each other, but Sean Young, the actress, who's probably best known for the film Blade Runner, plays a replicant in that. She's like an old flame of Jake Preston's, and he does not fucking leave her alone. He is, he's ultra fucking perv in this film. He's like perv up to 11. Yeah, he asks her out on a date and says like, oh yeah, you wanna go for a drink sometime? She's like, no, not really. And then we get, it's Brad Little's wife is introduced, who is played by the same lady who plays the psychiatrist in the Lethal Weapon films. Really love that character. I don't know the actress's name. Do apologise for that, Miss Lady, whoever you are. She's taking him out for dinner. Little does he know, bang, it's a surprise birthday party. Straight in. Literally met the character a minute ago and straight in, like I don't like you're supposed to care. I didn't really care that it was his birthday party because I didn't know the character at all. What is that about? And yeah, at the party again, Cage still acting like a fucking creep. He says to Sean Young's character, whose name is Billy, he says, how about that drink? And moments before this, he just like runs his finger through the birthday cake, like licks it off, and then says to her, yeah, how about that drink? It's like, you're never gonna get a woman if that's your move, you daft prick. And then we kind of get a lot of training stuff. We get this simulator. This it's like a terrible 90s, 80s like video game graphics. They're trying to take down the enemy basically, and it's terrible, guys.
I am the greatest. I am the greatest. I am the greatest. I am the greatest. I am the greatest.
So as you can see, old Preston boy has got a lot of confidence in himself. You could tell by that clip the music is fucking hilarious. Yeah, it's that terrible music all the way through. He's being watched on the screen. There's like these 5 screens set up. You can kind of see the crap like visuals of the game that they're playing or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, he's always chewing bubble gum as well. I noticed up until this point. He's just all like, he's just a prick. Like his character, I don't know. I don't like any characters in this film. There's no one I can like relate to. There's no one I can get behind really. Like, I'm not massively pro drugs. Like, it's not about my politics, but I don't know. I just kind of, you don't really get no one's really built up in a way that you feel like you can relate to them in any way. So like you kind of don't relate to them, and you don't really get invested in the storyline. After his little, I don't know, like simulator training, Jake's asking about. He's like, "Where's Billy? Where's Billy?" She's in the laundromat. He's there. He's trying again. Where he tries to smooch her. She's not into it. When she leaves a pair of pants, and he takes them. He like says, "Hey, you forgot something." She's like, "You haven't." Probably because she's so fucking creeped out that he's like just I don't know, holding onto a pair of his pants. You know, she knows that he's going to go and probably sniff him. Fucking pervert. And we get the next morning, and this scene is great. You kind of have Tommy Lee Jones's character having a morning run, and everyone who runs past him kind of is doing a new thing or says a new thing. You got one guy running backwards, and then it's like the last guy. They kind of I don't know, like one was like morning, how like good time for a run, and then the last guy just kind of goes, "So, sir." That's all he says. Is yeah, it's great. You just kind of get a lot of montagey stuff of training and stuff like that. Like a lot of them doing nothing, and we get this scene where Jake's in a club with his like sideman, his like sidekick, and he sees Billy in there. He goes over. He starts trying to get involved. He starts trying to dance first. He's already dancing with someone. He becomes a right arsehole as well. He's just trying to muscle in. She's not interested. That's what I don't get about this. She is not interested, but he is just pursuing her to no end. Yeah, he just comes off as massively creepy. You kind of find out a bit of their past and stuff like that. She's like you wanted me to kind of settle down. That's not really what I'm into. I'm into being in the army, flying helicopters and stuff like that. And he does this really creepy move when she's leaving as well. He just moves his eyebrows up and down, I don't know. Oh, he just, yeah. I just wanted to smack him in the mouth most of the time. I'm not going to lie. Then we get the major, one of the big wigs from the opening scene. He's on a conference call, and he's kind of getting the deets that they've got to head out soon. And then we get a scene in the hangar, and he's just still perving. They're sent on a kind of field training, and over the radio, Jake is just talking to Billy, and there's so much innuendo. It's I don't know, she loses him, and then all of a sudden his helicopter is above hers, and he's like, "Oh, you know how much I like it on top, to be on top." And she's like, "Well, you need to, you're there in your cockpit." So it's all bullshit like that. Yeah, and Tommy Lee Jones wants to join the task force, but it's not allowed. He keeps pursuing it. And he's not the major's "No, you're one of our best assets. You're here to train people. We're not going to risk you on the front line." So he goes to blow off some steam in the gym and asks Jake, "You want to go around? You want to have a little sparring session?" And it is the most terrible sparring. It's so slow. You can tell it's overly choreographed, and Jake knocks him down. It's just so he gets one lucky punch, and he is down like a sack of shit. And boy, he's feeling it the next day. He wakes up late for work. His wife's like, "Shouldn't you be gone by now?" And he's like, "Oh, what's the time?" He's disorientated. He pulls out one of the weirdest lines. Yeah, he's like, "You'd have thought I've had my dick shit off. My dick shit off? My dick shot off." By the way, I'm acting, or something toward that. I wrote it down. Yeah, you'd think I'd had my dick shot off, is what he says. It just gives her a chance. She has a look at it. She's like, "Oh, I'll double check. It has been shot off." It hasn't. They get to it. Then we get a team briefing. The man they're looking for, the big badass motherfucker in the helicopter, is Eric Stoller. He is, he's got He's got a mustache. You know, that's a sign someone is a bad man. He's grizzled. He's got facial hair. He looks a little foreign. Oh, like, fuck off, guys. He's not saying he's a good guy, but I don't know, their portrayal of him, yeah, he is. You take him down, all drugs are gone, guys. Obviously, that's the message you're trying to portray, which we see in the next moment, where there's TV footage, like news footage, kind of everything's like, drugs are bad, crack's bad, cocaine's bad. Yeah, we know they're all bad, okay, guys. I don't know, this is like an out and out, and it's not like they're going after drugs in the US. They're going after drugs in like Cuba, in South America. Oh, it's just bullshit. Then Cage gets to fly in a thing called, what is it they call it? It's called like the boot or something like that. What is it? The bag. That's it. And it's kind of essentially it's a darkened like cockpit, and all you have to rely on is like a periscope. Yeah, and it's like you have a periscope and a screen, and he just can't do it. He's sweating like a motherfucker. Like, you would have thought he'd just got out of the sea. Like, he is bad, and he's not doing well. And then he has a chat with Billy, and she says, it's like sex. Everyone screws up the first time. And she, like, out of nowhere, figures it out. She's like, oh yeah, you're left eye dominant. That's why you were fucking up. It's like, oh, I don't know you're a doctor, madam. Obviously, she must be. She figured it out like that. She knows he's left eye dominant. So, what does our boy Jakey Preston do? Goes straight to see Brad Little, who's looking after his kids in the supermarket. They're shopping. He's like, oh, I'm left eye dominant. You got to give me another chance. He's having a right old moan. And like, so he's like, it's not going to be as easy as that. Like, you've got to prove yourself. To which Jake replies, possibly the worst line in the film, that's real big of you, Little. Wah, wah, wah. And that night, it's like the guilt is plaguing him. And especially that line got to him, because Brad Little can't sleep. He's up, his wife tries to make him feel better. She gives him a Magnum, he's eating a Magnum. They talk about what's going on, and she talks about how he needs to push people, like he wants stuff to be done, he wants the country to be good, you're a patriot. Like, oh, it's just so, it's so sickly patriotic, this film. Like, yeah, it's a little gross. So the next day, Brad Little has a ploy, something that's gonna help to get him over his left eye dominance. Like, because his wife had said, well, you got over like having a left eye dominance, surely you could do it. And he's like, well, I'm not sure if I can. So the thing he comes up with, he said it worked for him, is putting a pair of pants over his head, covering his left eye, and like having a periscope coming off of his right eye, and driving a car. And yeah, they're driving about. He's driving erratically. Seem like, but they're happy with it. Like, he starts to nail it. Everyone's getting behind him. He's got his sidekick, and do you know what? I don't even know what the sidekick's name is. That's how much I didn't care about this film. There's another one of the pilots. I did get his name just because it's a blatant fucking rip-off from Top Gun, but we'll get to that when he appears. yeah, there's more like montage, there's more simulator training. He tries the bag again, and lo and behold, putting a pair of pants on your head and looking for a periscope, he fucking nails it, doesn't he? Like we didn't see that coming. Yeah. Then we get a scene. I didn't really get like where this came from, because Billy's driving Jake's car. He still chirps and there's like this terrible. They arrive at a place like they're going on a date, like, but up until this point she just wasn't interested. It's like for some reason him doing well in the bag, all of a sudden his life's going well for him. She's interested. He goes in for a kiss. She's like, whoa, wait up, sailor. So what does he do? She says like, oh, how did you get on in the boat? He's like, oh, I'll show you a technique that worked. Gets her to close her eyes, puts her arms out, and he grabs her and kisses her. And I was just like, oh, so fucking sleazy. And then we get a scene of them in the smokiest room I've ever seen, dancing to like some smooth music. Sounds like Phil Collins. I'm not sure if it is. If it isn't Phil Collins, it's a blatant rip-off. They're dancing in this smoky room, like alone. There's no one else for some reason at this resort. Like the owners must have done a terrible job at marketing the place, because they're the only two guests by the looks of it. Yeah, they make love by candlelight. There's like way too many candles in this room. Like the admin that would have gone in would have been ridiculous. Like, I don't know. If you're getting down to it, you don't want to have like 10 minutes before, like, wait a sec, let me light all these 50 million candles that we have set up in the room. The next day, she's got to get back to the base because she's got training in like 2 hours, and he's like, just fucking skip it. Like, come on, it's Margarita Day. Like, let's just go out and get pissed. And yeah, he's just like, it's like, is he taking the army seriously? Like, you get a real mixed message from the guy, because he seems well like gung ho to begin with, and then by this point it's like, is he just up for a laugh and a joke, and kind of getting the bird is more important than like getting the bad guy? I don't know, he's got like, I just wrote in my notes, he's got no charm whatsoever. Then we just get back into like more shit, it's more training. Like they kind of do a live exercise where it's them, him and his sidekick and Brad Little and another pilot kind of doing a mock helicopter to helicopter fight, because that's what they're training them to do. Like in these Apaches, they're training them to they're used to kind of helicopter to ground combat, but they're not used to air to like helicopter to helicopter combat. So that's what he is trying to teach them. Probably should have told you about that earlier in the description of the film, but what you gonna do? We get like, they win, obviously Cage, and he's kind of like, he's the fucking best pilot of all time. All of a sudden, everyone's fucking blowing smoke up his arse. And then we get the old Tashman Major again. He's on another conference call saying they got to move in. They've got more info on Stoller. Like, we've got to get him. And then they're getting shipped out. That's it. They've got less than 24 hours to be in the thick of it. It's like the DEA and then you find out it's the name of the operation. The name of the operation is Operation Firebird. Never saw that one coming. And they'll be head to head with like the Scorpion, which is the name of Stoller's ship, or like the type of helicopter it is, and his crew. Don't know who they're gonna be. And then we get a real nice moment where Brad Little is told by the Major, like, you can't, like, I need a flight leader for this. I want you, Brad. And you could see the joy in his eyes. You could see the spring in his step and the light in his heart, that he's so joyed that he's going to be out there. He could die, but doesn't matter. No, he's fighting for his country once again. And then Jake finds Billy like, oh, we're heading out. Like, well, we should probably have a chat about things. She's like, oh, don't worry, we'll chat about it when we're on the flight over there. And he is not happy. He's like, wait a goddamn fucking second. What do you mean? She's like, yeah, I'm coming out as well. And he does not take it well at all.
They allowed you to go into combat?
I don't believe I'm hearing this.
Billy, wait a second.
Oh, you think it's fine for me to be a pilot as long as there's nothing at stake? But a dangerous mission, no way, that's only for men. Thanks, Jake. I have my orders.
Why is it so hard for you to understand that I just don't want you to get hurt?
I chose this career, and you, my friend, are going to have to accept it.
My friend!
And how does he get his frustrations out? That's it. He karate kicks the air. He just flies off the handle. It's fucking ridiculous. And then we get them flying out to South America, and you get the exact same footage that was from the title scroll in this film of the helicopters flying in the sunset. Obviously, they thought this film's 125 minutes long. They thought miraculously people would forget, like people wouldn't notice. Well, we fucking did, like, you morons. Like, it's only possibly not like an hour later. Like, we would remember. It's quite it's used on all the fucking posters for the film as well. Ah, God. They then like arrive in South America, and they get a briefing, which is pretty much like Stoller is bad, and drugs are bad, and then Jake and Little have a little chat. They're kind of walking around the base. They're like, God, you're the best. No, you're the best. No, you're the best. And just talking about how good America is, how bad drugs are, like how bad Stoller is. And then out of nowhere, bang! The fucking base is attacked. There's missiles going off everywhere. Miraculously don't seem to hit a fucking helicopter at all. They like run, the whole team runs, get in the helicopters, and then as soon as they're in the helicopters, bang, like some of the like team that don't even have names, you're not even introduced to, they're dead. We don't care, because you didn't set those people up as any characters. They were just like in the background in scenes. So like, I don't think, David Green is the guy who directed this. I don't think he thought at all about, like, no one's going to care if you kill people if there's no development to that character. Like, I don't really feel either that Stoller is built up that much. Like, you never hear him talk at all in this. He's not really, like, built up as a villain either. Like, I don't know, like, I feel like the main villain in this film is drugs. Like, drugs are bad, okay, kids? Like, I don't know, this film feels more like an infomercial, or like, an anti-drugs video you'd show kids in school than an actual action film. I don't know, I feel like if you were to watch, like, an action film about pilots in any way, possibly go watch Top Gun. Because this ain't gonna get it for you guys. That's it. They're up in the helicopters. Billy's out there. She's her role is to kind of scope things out in her helicopter. They blow up like a comms unit. That's like a satellite that that was there to, like, their Stoller would have used to find their base would have been able to track it all, and then like she finds the rebels. Oh, and one of the guys' name is Rice Man. Like, so he's like Private like surname Rice, and yeah, he's the Rice Man. He's referred to for this, like, probably, like, that's what I mean. This bit here as well is, like, the last 10 minutes of the film. And characters are kind of introduced by name at this point. I'm not sure if a longer cut of this film is out there anywhere, or exists, or there is a whole heap of stuff on a cutting room floor somewhere, because it just, like, you just don't care about any of the characters. I don't care about Rice Man, because all you can think is, I'm pretty sure there's a character in Top Gun called Iceman. Yeah, and then Stoller finds Billy, he chases her, Jake chases Stoller, Rice Man takes out a fighter jet, Rice Man and Little are like flying together. Their helicopter gets taken down. Jake pulls out the weirdest line. You find out that his sidekick's name is Calvin, and he says something along the lines, I can't even remember the context. He says, "I am your mother now, Calvin." Like, I think he's like, "Do you love your mother?" And he's like, "Of course I love my mother." He's like, "I'm your mother now, Calvin." Yeah, it's a fucking weird. So once Rice and Little's helicopter is down, Billy comes to the rescue. Rice Man is dead. Like, I feel so sad about that character who only found out his name 2 minutes ago is dead. And Brad Little is hurt, and he's giving her instructions on how to create a rocket launcher out of the stuff that's on the helicopter. And like, whilst trying to do that, there's a fighter jet coming towards them. It's getting tough. Like, the fighter jet tries to shoot at them. She dives out of the way. Whew, they're fine. She's like, right, that's him. Gonna shoot it right up the arse. Bazooka blows it up. It's fucking miraculous. And then Jake, like, is still chasing Stoller. They're going back and forth, getting shot at. They're like, and then all of a sudden he gets him with the most basic move ever. Stoller, like, is chasing them. They go over a cliff, lower their helicopters down. He goes over, flies over the top of them, and then bang, boom, shoots him down. And that is pretty much the end of the film, really. All of a sudden you find out miraculously that the cartel has disbanded. That's it. They're beaten, guys. You take out the helicopter man, everything's fine. We get Brad is airlifted out of it. He's injured, and Jake and Billy make up, and that's it. They kind of just walking. I think, no, they're arguing again. They're arguing about who's going to drive the helicopter. He's like, I am. She's like, no, let me drive the helicopter. As they're arguing, it kind of felt like the camera just drifts off, and that's the end. And yeah, I didn't particularly enjoy this one at all, guys. As I said, I'm recording this straight after Time to Kill. It's fucking late. It's real late, and I just can't wait for things to get better. Right, so I must have been fucking knackered when I recorded this episode, because I totally forgot about this section, so I'm just dropping it in here now, guys. Obviously, you've heard what I thought about the film. What does the internet say? There's only 2 scores on the internet for this. There's an IMDb and a Rotten Tomatoes scores. And boy, I think I've hit the nail on the head with my opinion of this one, because IMDb is 4.6 out of 10. Oh, and Rotten Tomatoes is 10%. So yeah, the director David Green actually, he's got quite a small and looks pretty ropey back catalogue here. He directed a film called Buster, starring Phil Collins. So maybe that was a Phil Collins track in Firebirds. He obviously knows the guy. There is Car Trouble from 1985. And no, that can't be right. Yes, he did a film in 2010 called Zombie Roadkill, which looks rubbish. Oh, right. Well, yeah, sorry, I missed that part. But it's in here now, so back to the podcast. So let's talk about what's coming up. Next episode is Wild at Heart, the 1990 David Lynch directed film that I, again, don't really know anything about. Like, I own it on Blu-ray, but that's really about it. And yeah, I'm going to be joined on that one with a friend of mine and comedian Martin Huxter. Really, really cool guy. Check him out on social media. So he's on Twitter and Instagram at Hurley Burley. Well, it's at Hurley_Burley. So it's HURLY_BURLY. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to chatting shit about Wild at Heart. And regards to helping out the podcast, guys, please rate, review and subscribe on iTunes. Just any honest feedback in those reviews would be great. Obviously, if you don't have iTunes, you can, like, I guess you're probably already listening to this on Acast or Stitcher or SoundCloud. Oh, if you're listening on SoundCloud, yeah, there's other easier ways that the episodes, you don't have to go hunting for the episodes. The episodes can turn up straight on your phone. So with iTunes, you can set to automatic download. On Acast, you can just like add it to my shows, and every time an episode is released, it will be there on your phone. With iTunes, obviously, you can set up for automatic download. So as soon as the episode is released, it will just download to your phone so you can listen to it wherever you are. Please just do that. Like, obviously, this film isn't a great one, but we've got some great films coming up. I've got some great guests coming up as well. So, yeah, let people know. Just let friends know, let a family member know, let anyone who you know who's into any of these films I'm talking about or thinks that the premise is funny. Like, just get them involved. Like, I don't know. And yeah, I've been looking recently at some of the stats online and stuff like that, of like where you guys are listening to, and it absolutely blows my mind. Like, looking through some of the top countries and stuff like that. Like, I've got, looking at it now, like, someone from Korea is listening to this, like, Morocco, Denmark, Turkey, like, any of you guys out there, like, wherever you're listening to, I'd love to hear from you guys. Obviously, hit me up on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at CagedInPod, or email me, cagedinpod@gmail.com. I would love to just hear from anyone who's got any idea, even if, like, I don't know, just say, hey, it's me, I'm listening in this country. That would be great. Like, yeah, as I said, sometimes with these podcasts, it's quite hard because you don't know if you are just, like, screaming into the void. If you're just, like, talking, like I'm talking into this microphone in my lounge and nobody's listening. But, like, even if there's, like, 10 people listening, guys, I'm still going to do it. I'm still going to do this regardless, even if nobody is listening. That's kind of the mantra I have. I record these as if nobody is listening and just hope that if you are, you're enjoying it. And if you feel like someone else would enjoy it, like, yeah, share it with them. But I feel like, going on a bit, like, I don't know, listen, don't listen, whatever you want to do. Obviously, if you're listening to this part, you're already on board. Just trying to get more people on board, because I don't know, I'm putting in time, guys, and I'm putting in the hours. I think like soon I'll calculate the hours as well, and I'll pop that out there. But yeah, as always, I've been Petrus Patsilivus. I've been caged in. You've been rad. Bye.